where the statue is, and to Ellis Island, which is now a Museum of Immigration. This is where you buy your ticket and get on the boat over here at Battery Park. Are you familiar with the Men in Black movies? Yes. Over to the left is the Men in Black headquarters. Being accused of killing his wife. And he went to prison for a different reason, and he's soon to be released, but he is in New York, Chicago, San Francisco, I don't know, right in the city. But most of you are going to be living in the suburbs. And living in the city, as this before, the new World Trade Center will be 5 buildings. 3 of those buildings, 1 building, and we're going to pass that building. And some buildings much further away also got damaged. So they actually sell the real Prada, the real Gucci, in fact, I went shopping earlier. Listen to this, I got 2 shirts and a pair of pants. Over where we see the trees is the memorial for the World Trade Center in New York City. There is a very famous singer, and she be a cab. You'll see a little metal plate. It's called a medallion, and it's what makes a yellow car legitimate medallion New York City cab business. I want you to note over to the left, you see the eyes of the beholder. Some people see artistic expression, other people see vandalism. If that same graffiti was put on the stores of Fifth. And so we're going to stop in what is one of the most popular neighborhoods of New York City. Something that kills me is that tourists come to New York or Fifth Avenue. Now we're going to be stopping in a neighborhood, first winners of the Cupcake Wars. So I'll show you where Molly's Cupcakes is. And then there are 2 a domestic diva, and she lives in the same building. Guys, we're now in a neighborhood here called Soho. This is south of Houston Street. This neighborhood was developed in the 1860s primarily as a manufacturing neighborhood. Manufacturing stayed in this neighborhood for around 100 years. In the 1960s, manufacturing died. Nobody wanted.
Yeah.
Over there, and this was designed by one of the same architects that designed Central Park. His name was Calvert Vaux, or Vaux, if you like the French. So you've been in one of the most authentic New York neighborhoods right now. As I mentioned before, it kills me when people, the streets are numbered. You see this building over to the right, brown brick building? Looks like a church, right? Used to be a church, but when I lived in this neighborhood of Chelsea, this was a nightclub where people would go dancing until 4 o'clock in the morning. And it was a very famous nightclub called the Limelight. Since then, the nightclub has closed down, and the building holds all these little boutiques. 8, 9, all the way to 12. As you go east, the avenue numbers get lower. 6th, 5th, we have to remember a named one, Broadway. We've got named avenue, Madison Avenue, Park Avenue, Lexington, and we have 3rd Avenue, 2nd Avenue, 1st Avenue. There are areas of the city in the Lower East Side that not as good as, if anybody had the Pizza Joe's, I don't think it's quite as good as Joe's, but if you're on a budget, you can go to Chinatown, get a big bowl of chicken noodle soup or duck noodle soup. It's usually around $5. We have free entertainment. In fact, Wagner Park, they were preparing for a dance event, free dance concert. Over to the right is the Empire State Building. See the Empire State Building? Right on the corner. Can't see the top of it. Empire State Building is on West 34th Street. The bus will be picking you up on East 34th Street, right across the street. Very famous burger place down over here on Broadway. It's called the Shake Shack. Anybody ever?
Like what their Rockefeller.
Yeah.
To walk down to there, like on a normal day, if we didn't stop.
Okay, if our building over there, see the Chrysler? Beautiful, beautiful, built in that Art Deco style of architecture. Remember I told you that there were many reasons that I like the talk. But you do a good job.
But yeah, like
It's towards 7th Avenue. If you go in the wrong direction, you'll hit Broadway. As we get into the intersection, look to the left, and you'll see it comes down every New Year's Eve. This place is filled with neon lit. You're going to see these red stairs. You see the people sitting on the stairs? This in New York City. Highly recommend it. These are all Broadway theaters. Come From Away tells the story of a small Canadian town. You know, on September 11th, airplane travel here. You see where it says furniture.com? It's a big neon sign to the left. Big neon sign. Or digital sign, I should say. It's not neon. Big digital sign. Right under that sign is where the Cake Boss Bakery is. Strawberry Fields?
Yeah,
no, we're not. We're going to go a different place. We're going to go right up the epicenter of Manhattan. You can actually see the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria going through the pedestal. Directly in front of us, that glass building, and you can boo, is the Trump International Hotel and Tower. That glass building right in front of us. They do a lot of demonstrations over there. We'll see the Trump building that he actually lives in. Over to the left is the Time Warner Center of New York. Gossip Girl fans. Gossip Girl fans. Chuck Bass's father owns a hotel called the Empire. And over to the left, right up Broadway, is the Hotel Empire. Yeah, no, great. So guys, across the street is Central Park. You can't come to New York without stepping foot in Central Park. It is now 6, I'm going to give you 15 minutes. 15 to take a quick... adds more to the value of an apartment or even what you pay for a hotel room with a Central Park view. It's considered to be very, very valuable. 8th Avenue, that goes along the west side of the park, becomes Central Park West, and 110th Street, which becomes the northern border, we call Central Park North. So we have a south, a west, and a north, but we won't ever, ever, ever talk about a Central Park East. That means that subway entrance is open 24 hours a day. You okay back there?
Can we turn off what air?
More air. Do you have more air? Can you make it cooler? Yeah. It says here the Plaza Food Hall. The big thing to eat in New York now are food courts, but they're very nice food courts with. And as we're headed down 5th Avenue, everything on the left will be the east side of New York. Everything on the right is the west side of New York. So if you know you're east from your west and you're up from your down, you're not going to get lost in New York above 14th Street. Guys, if you look to the right, the people on the left-hand side of the bus won't be able to see it. Breathing the fibers. Yeah. So when the Orf Goodman, among our most expensive of fine specialty stores, and these guys do the best Christmas windows in New York City. Look how great these windows are right here. Yeah. Over to the left, do you ever see that movie Breakfast at Tiffany?
Yeah.
Over to the left is Tiffany and Company, made famous by that very famous Audrey Hepburn movie. Over to the left is Nike Town, New York. They said they're going to be closing. You know why? Yes. Over to the right is the world's largest Abercrombie and Fitch. So we've got Gucci and Pucci and Armani, but we also have the world's largest Gap store. We've got Hollister, we have Abercrombie. So we have a Victoria's Secret that's like a Victoria's Secret museum. Over to the right is Henri Bendel. Do you know the over?
Stroke victims?
Yes.
An hour to get the most average.
Yeah, almost. So please stick together. We'll get you in line. We'll see how we're doing for time. You can see there's a little bit of traffic here on Fifth Avenue. Do you guys know the retail store Uniqlo?
Yeah.
Over to the right is the flagship store of Uniqlo. It's one of my favorite stores. It's kind of like the Japanese Gap or the Japanese H&M. There's also one on 34th Street. By the way, a lot of shopping along 34th Street. In fact, they want to change the rule. But right now, they have something called a suggested donation. Wherever you see suggested donation, it means you can pay what it left is the headquarters for Cartier. You see it over here, the one with the red awning. And that was once a private home. One small family lived in that building. And they sold their building, their home, for the price of one pearl necklace. Why? Because the woman, the very wealthy woman who owned the house, wanted that Cartier pearl necklace. So she said, I will give you my home for the pearl necklace. It will be an even exchange. Now, what happened? The pearl necklace, they were both the same value. They were both around $1 million at the time. Now this is a multi-million-dollar piece of property. Right is the Victoria's Secret. I call it the Victoria's Secret Museum. It's a store. These buildings over here are the buildings of Rockefeller Center. We're going to get off this quick level. And you take an escalator up to the 67th floor, and then you take stairs, and right over here is great. Yeah, right here. And then you take stairs to the roof. So remember that.
So we will go to the theater?
Unleashing the Great Depression. His father never intended to build Rockefeller Center all by himself, but it became his crowning legacy and an enduring symbol of hope and optimism, of which all of his descendants are.
I probably can't. Humanitarian.
그래서